Hi. So this is the second go around that we're doing of this episode, because I had some technical issues. I was only 3 minutes into recording and I didn't lose the file, so I could have kept it. But basically, the gist of it is, from what we learned from last time, we earned the Miata, and we have a small list of championships that we can, or like a small list of events that we can do that do not require any licenses. And we're going to be doing the FR challenge next. And this is specific to the drivetrain of your vehicle. So as you can see in the regulations, it says drivetrain FR only, which is why we cannot use the Beetle, because that one is FF for the drivetrain. So it's like front wheel drive. This one is like rear wheel drive. So I learned that you definitely need to upgrade this car a little bit. Not like a lot. Um, it's just like turbo installed. Just like a few upgrades to make the race easier, but also to make it winnable, because I think it was not winnable in the original state. Well, like when we tried it, like unupgraded Miata, it looked like we were going to get 4th place. So yeah, now we're entering in the Grand Valley Speedway. Um, this is a new track that we haven't seen before. And this is one of the Gran Turismo original tracks. Um, yeah, they for Gran Turismo 7 they ended up removing this track, um, and replacing it with, I think, Grand Valley Highway. As I mentioned in one of the other videos, they tried to retcon Trial Mountain to be part of Oregon. Basically, that's sort of similar to what's going on with Grand Valley Highway now, where I think they retconned it to be taking place in California, so they tried to base it on a real like geographical location. So they changed the layout from what they had working in the 6 previous entries to something that I don't think people like. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the devs at Polyphony Digital, they made their choice, I guess. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties. So the solution for that, I might either have to buy an Xbox controller, which I kind of don't want to do, or just figure out another setup that works better. Um, I've been like screwing around with the drivers to try to get the PlayStation 3 controller to work with this, and it I think it's working now, but I'm not really sure, if I'm being honest. It worked fine for the other recordings, but then for this one it just kind of started glitching out on me, and it just like crashed all my drivers for my external drive. I had to like revert it, and then my keyboard was acting funny. It like lit up, so my computer recognized that there was a device connected, but it didn't want to accept any key inputs. I had to switch the USBs, and my external drive was not reading any of the memory that was inside of it. So I tried plugging it into a different USB port, and that didn't work either, which I thought was really strange. So I uninstalled all the drivers to get the controller to work. It worked. I reinstalled some drivers. It seems to be working now, but earlier it sort of seemed like when one of the drivers is working, the other one doesn't. So it just like picks and chooses which driver will or won't work. Um, but I hope I found the nice middle ground. I just had to uninstall all the drivers and install just the single one that I need. No Bluetooth connection, nothing, just wired gameplay, which is a little annoying. But yeah, most of the headache came from me wanting to connect to Bluetooth. Uh, yeah. Um, Our car seems to be a little fast, but it's fine. I still generally have to race well. Oh, and if I am experiencing a lot of lag in game, I will have to reduce the graphics because I think right now we're on 3 times the native graphics. So they look better. They look more clear than what they would look on a PlayStation 2. Um, 3 times, basically the more clear it is, it's like diminishing returns. If I go to 4 times, the difference between 1 time and 2 times graphics is a lot bigger than the difference from 3 times to 4 times. So like after a certain point, you just get a lot of diminishing returns, but the amount of like how powerful my computer needs to be to run it smoothly goes up by a very large amount. So we're not trying to do that. I'll be excited for Gran Turismo 4 because there's a visual display on exactly how much like what on exactly the amount of acceleration and deceleration or like acceleration and braking power that I'm using. So you'll get that visual response on the screen to be able to see like what my inputs are as I'm doing it. So that'll be nice. All right, seems to be good. The upgrades from the upgrades that we got seem to be working. Yeah. This music just doesn't play the same without the music, or this game doesn't play the same without the music, but we can't have those copyright strikes. Or like the video taken down, or the whole video put on mute. Uh, yeah, so just gotta hope my commentary can carry. This time we are racing at the special stage Route 5, which we had to race on for the last two, so this is just another repeat of that. I think the opponents list in for the FR for the opponents list for the FR challenge seems to be a lot more like variable than for the FF challenge, and yeah, and I think even than the Clubman Cup. So it's possible that without upgrading this car, there may have been a lineup that could win with, but I don't think so. I think an unupgraded Miata is simply too slow. Yeah. Yeah, I might start chipping away at the licenses. I don't know if I want to do a dedicated video where I do all the licenses. Hmm. I think what I want to do is I might want to take on some of the rally events early on. Just so I can get access to some of those cars because they're not super fast on the road, but they'll put me in a good position for some of the later events. All right. Yeah, luckily, this is a lot, well, it's a point of perspective, I guess, but this is a bit less intense than the race that I was having on the FF challenge, where I couldn't tell if I was going to win or not. But no, it seems to be going fine. Yeah, no, another reason to be excited for Gran Turismo 4 is just the track list being bigger. You won't see nearly as many repeats, and if you do, they'll be a lot more spread out for like courses. And the car selection is simply like a lot bigger too. It's just like better overall. But I've never beaten, as I mentioned before, I've never beaten either of the two games. So it'd be nice to try to get 100% or see how close to it I can get. I don't want to give up on it, but well, we'll see at what rate I start advancing and whether or not I want to include the license tests as something I want to do. Uh, like to get gold on all of them. Yeah. They're trailing me by quite a bit. I'm not like super far ahead of them. I think I probably could have gone with one less upgrade, but it's going all right. We get our nice little trophy to celebrate first place. Now we race on Apricot Hill Raceway 2. And basically in this game, instead of calling the tracks the reverse version of the track, it's just called 2. Apricot Hill Raceway 2. I don't know why they did that. So the standard layout of this track, we would be driving in the opposite direction. We would be facing this direction to start, but we're facing this direction. I think I prefer the standard layout more than the reverse layout. They are the same track, but I don't know though I will say in the later games the first turn is really difficult in faster cars I think because you have to slow down a lot. Or else you'll just like go spinning out. Since the turn is a lot like shallower than this first turn on the reverse layout of the course, you might be tempted to not slow down as much or think you might not need to slow down as much. Um, we will have to see if I end up fumbling really hard at any point. I might turn off the assists. I Yeah, I'll probably turn off the assists for the next time I do this. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm like misjudging this corner. I don't think I need to really even slow down. Yeah. Yeah, I can see them all in my rear view mirror. And Apricot Hill Raceway is also one of the fictional tracks. Um, yeah, I believe it was inspired by Suzuka Circuit. I'll have to fact check that. Yeah, because Suzuka Circuit does not show up until Gran Turismo 4, where I believe it stays in every remaining game after that. But yeah, these turns are not very menacing in slower vehicles, but once we're driving faster cars, like some of the late game, uh, it'll it'll be a bit scarier. So we'll have to be mindful of that. Okay, I do need to slow down a little bit, but not a ton. I might be slowing down too much. I'll be fine. Alright. And just like that, I think we have secured the win for the FR challenge. Nice. Alright, and now we get our prize reward. Um, a Sylvia, but I'm not really sure specifically what that is. And I honestly I don't think I'm going to use this. Um, oh, what? Is this car naturally aspirated? Why is it letting me put a turbo then? Let me see, would it actually... I need to see if the Miata would let me enter the turbo challenge, because I might have been... I think it's incorrectly listed because in here it says NA vehicles only and it's listed in red. And here it says turbo vehicles only, but it's not listed in red, so it means I do meet the requirements in the Miata, but in our home, it's listed as a naturally aspirated vehicle. So I think that's definitely a mistake. So even though the Sylvia is for sure turbo, I will not need to use it. The Miata's already more upgraded. I can get by with that. Um, yeah. Last time I forgot to save the game. I saved it off screen, but I'll make sure to do that now so I don't forget. Okay. Um, this was a pretty smooth win. Thank you for joining. Uh, so I guess I'll see you next time. Bye bye.